I updated.
Oh, wait,
some.
before we start recording, I have to check. I have to change my input because I have a new microphone.
Well, that ship has already sailed.
Oh. Well,
it's all.
I got
it's
it
all
now.
good.
So
Okay.
we're good.
Well, you're doing that. I'll do this. What do we do? This is.
Wait, I had a really good thing I want to tell you real quick before we start.
We already started.
So, like, I did something very interesting. And I think you will approve, especially you, Chig. We made fudge today. We made Velveeta fudge.
Ooh.
You have Chick's attention.
Go on.
Yeah, you use Velveeta cheese to make chocolate fudge.
Ew.
That sounds like Velveeta fudge.
You would think, but it's a very good fudge.
Okay, before anybody else says anything, I'm going to do the opening intro before somebody hijacks things, because I see things happening that I'm not sure about. So we're going to go. It's January 2nd, 2023 or 33 something or other. This is the Loose Screws podcast, the loosest and screwiest podcast, and all of the loosey and screwy and I don't know, juicy. We started the show talking about Velveeta fudge, so things are weird. But I saw somebody show up that I wasn't expecting tonight. What's up with that?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Couldn't be. A confluence of many events led to eventually my coming on here. So I was actually planning on having company tonight, and we had screwed up my schedule, and I rescheduled my other podcast for earlier in the day because my co-host was off from work. And so we could do that. And then we did that. And then my company plans ended up canceling. And I was like, well, I guess I can do Loose Screws then.
Wow. On-air production meeting. You probably just saved the show, because this would be three grumpy old men doing this show. And then your 16-year-old ass showed up. It's just weird.
And I just want to clarify, when you say it's going to be weird tonight, do you mean regular weird or weird even by our standards?
I never want to say weird by our standards, because that's not good.
Well, I didn't want to totally throw off your whole jam, so I watched you guys pile into the channel and waited an amount of time where I was pretty sure you had started taping, and then I joined.
Oh, I tried to start taping, then Teflon had to hop in with Velveeta fudge.
What?
Yes, you're going to have to listen to the beginning of the show, I guess.
Oh my God, okay.
Actually, I can explain this. How do you turn Velveeta into fudge? This sounds like kind of a Jesus wine to water kind of thing.
So you take
wine to water.
You take 2 sticks of butter and half a pound of Velveeta, and you melt it in a pan. Then you add half a cup of cocoa powder, and then 2 pounds of powdered sugar, and get it all good mixed up, and then add some vanilla, and then put it in a pan and put it in the refrigerator, and then you have fudge.
No.
And it tastes nothing like Velveeta.
No.
Does it taste anything like fudge?
It tastes very much like fudge. It is delicious. Like, I watched a video. I saw a video of it on TikTok. There's this TikToker who makes all these old-time recipes. And this one came from 1980. And, like, he was very... he always takes these old recipes he finds, like, all kinds of things. And he bakes them. He's very much like a baker. And this was one of the things. And, like, after he made the fudge, he was like, that's a really good fudge. And I was like, no way. And my brother-in-law was like, hey, we have all the stuff. Let's try it. And I said, I'm down, because, you know, that's what I need in my life, is an enabler.
I just want to say this. That doesn't sound like baking so much as alchemy, to tell you the truth.
And that's a hard no.
Well, you're gonna love.
Sign me
you're
up.
gonna love what I'm going to tell you that we're making next.
Oh,
and
God.
It is chocolate beet cake.
I've heard of that. That's actually really good.
Yeah. I haven't had it, but I have heard of it, yeah.
We're going to make chocolate beet cake.
Now, I'm going to be even more impressed when you turn fudge into Velveeta. That's the direction I'd prefer this to go. But
Well, it came from Velveeta.
Yeah, but but transmute it back, please. But I suppose, well, all right. Let's start the show. We're into a new year. We did our year-end show last week. Let's go around the table and see what everybody's done since Christmas time and what's happening in the world. And I'm going to make Trax go first because he never goes first.
Oh boy. That's right. I guess I never have cause to go first. What has been going? When did we last do this? I guess it wasn't that long
Monday ago?
It was right after
Monday?
Christmas.
Yeah, the day after Christmas.
A week ago?
All right,
Yeah.
well, we've I've been
Like
staying
always.
up. Yeah, I've been staying up late since then, and like to an unusual degree, because we've sort of every night we've been gathering with one friend group or another, and it was like this New Year's business where you're supposed to stay up late, and then we were with some other friends last night, and so on and so on, and everything's fine. We're going to drop back into a fairly regular routine starting tomorrow, but boy, today just the motivation drains out of me to do my regular thing. Like technically I was kind of at work this morning, but it took me so long to get going. But it's fine. It's fine. We low key holiday stuff. No big deal. I'll be back into the thick of it tomorrow.
You get to play Elite Dangerous at all?
Yeah, I did yesterday in the day a little bit. I had some random time, so I went and tried out. I was going to try to do a Thargoid alert system combat mode. Let's try it. So first I thought, well, maybe there's Orthrus signals. Nope, couldn't get any of those to spawn in this particular system, no matter how much time I spent there. So I gave up on that and moved on to just like, let's just hunt the random signals. And there's plenty of like threat 4 through 6-ish of like combat aftermath and AX ship signals and AX weapons fire, things like that. The AX weapon, the one that's combat aftermath really seems to be geared toward, like finding materials and stuff. There's like a handful of materials, and usually it seems like there are some scouts there. But it was difficult actually to find an interceptor. Even the other ones that are definitely supposed to be combat, and you get there and there's a bunch of there's a small fleet of NPC combat ships, and they talk in the chat a bunch about, let's do one more patrol sweep, and I'm sure they'll come soon, and boy, if no bugs turn up, we should really like go to somewhere else because they don't seem to be coming here. Mm-hmm. And they just chatter about how nothing's happening. And a couple of times, eventually something popped in. But I tried to pick up a mission. Yeah, I thought like I'm not really doing any good here. There's a lot of not anything happening. I tried to grab a combat mission. The combat missions right now during the Thargoid War, that's like sort of the worst part of this whole thing. They're sort of not very good. The rewards are awful, and they're all like very high completion requirements.
Yeah, kill 8 hydras and get 8 hydras, biotech conductor.
6 medusas. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll kill 6 medusas if you'll give them to me, right? But there's nowhere to find them right now, at least with the state of that system, right? And I was like, okay, here's one for one. It says hunt and kill 1 basilisk. Okay, great. So I'm going around, I'm basically picking all the highest threat things I can find, and I had to try 3 of them before an interceptor would spawn into it, and then it did come, and I was able to, I took it out. And, no, I'm sorry, I'm misremembering. I couldn't find it. There was a few people in chat. I couldn't find it. We were just like chilling. I think the chat was called Just Chillin'. And I was like, screw this. I'm going to a Thargoid control system. We're going for maximum danger. So I went there, and I was like, okay, here I am. I sort of scanned for signal sources, and I thought, screw that. I'll just drop to normal space. So I just left Super Cruise, and sure enough, Basilisk popped in just a few seconds. I was like, all right, here we go. And then like 4 or 6 scouts came in. Okay, all right. And then another interceptor comes in, and that one I messed up and got shut down for a little while. was like, okay, things getting a little hairy. So then anyway, we killed the basilisk. I guess the other one, I must have drifted too far away, and the other one just fucked right off. It was gone by the time my ship woke up. So I killed the basilisk, and then got hyperdicted on my way back to turn in the mission and killed another basilisk. So it's fine, but sort of it's sort of a dull thing. That was my experiment with trying to do, combat, destroy AX ships. That's on the list of things you can do in an alert system. And in other systems, I've had good luck finding Orthrus, but I think if they aren't spawning in that system, it's really just about evac and I guess supply deliveries. I don't personally get into the supply delivery very much, but anyway.
Yeah.
That's my story.
You're sticking to it. All right, let's let Nurgo go next.
Let's see. Weekend. Trax will identify with this since Mrs. Trax at least was a teacher. So Christmas holidays are over. Today was the first day back at school for Mrs. Nurgle, who is a third grade teacher. So, of course, this weekend was the 752,000 projects, which she hasn't done anything with over Christmas vacation, but now have to be finished before she goes back to school. Which was fun. On the work side of things, I came in this morning to find out that someone had set fire to a car in one of my parks.
What?
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be there.
Don't know what the details were. The police had already come and dragged what was left of the carcass away, but there's nothing left but a melted chunk of asphalt and some puddled aluminum.
Whoa. And
I looked this up because I was curious. Aluminum melts at 1,220 degrees. So that was a hot fucking fire.
Jeez.
Yeah. It didn't do any other damage. They just, incinerated this car in the middle of a parking lot. Yeah, and I've got a fist-sized chunk of melted aluminum riding around in my truck now. I was like, oh, yeah, that looks interesting. I'll throw that in the truck.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a souvenir from my time with parks. And then game-wise, I spent most of the last week running around and doing BGS stuff back in Screw Space because we've had some wonky shit go on and had some things we had to deal with, which we've pretty much successfully all dealt with at this point, so I can get back to learning how to kill Thargoids more efficiently. And Trax, your experience with trying to hunt Thargoids in an alert system is pretty much the universal experience. We'll talk more about that when we get to Thargoid updates later.
Sure.
Sweet. All right, Teflon. Oh, his mic's off. Does he know his mic is off?
He's muted as hell.
I'm right here.
All right.
What's up?
Well,
your turn.
Let's hear your story.
Oh, well, I didn't just make Velveeta fudge.
Is that all you did in the last week?
There was more?
Concern.
It's been a busy week. We got all our electrical issues fixed now, so all of our things that weren't working before, they're now working.
That's good.
And now, since it's now January, I get to use my historical calendar. My This Day in History calendar on my desk every day.
Oh, what happened this day in history? Or are we doing that at the end of the
That's
show?
one of the end segments, right? Or do you want it to be at the beginning? Maybe we should do one at the beginning for the new segment. I don't know.
There's going to be like 7 days that we can do for each show. So we could do one every like 7 minutes.
Space them out.
Well, but that assumes there was something interesting.
Oh, everything in history is interesting.
You're true. That's true.
Do you want to know what it is?
Yes.
Well, give us
one.
the first now. Give us the first, and we'll do the second later.
You want January 1st, or you want January 2nd?
1st.
Yeah.
We'll do January 1st first.
All right. You will listen to January 1st when the podcast comes out on January 3rd.
Well, we're going to do January 2nd at the end of the show, and if you want to do January 3rd in the middle of the show, just so it's very loose and screwy, you can.
It's fine. We'll do first now and second at the end, I guess.
Okay.
So on January 1st, in 1959, Fidel Castro led rebel forces, led rebels force Fulgencio Batista out of Cuba. So on January 1st, 1959, facing a popular revolution spearheaded by Fidel Castro's 26th of July movement, Cuban dictator Fulgencio Batista fled the island nation. The United States, which had supported Batista, was concerned about what to expect from the radical Castro and his followers. Batista and many regime supporters left immediately for the Dominican Republic, while tens of thousands of Cubans cheered. These events were just the start of what would be a decades-long conflict between Cuba and the United States.
Huh.
So that was on this day in history in 1959.
64 years ago, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
All right.
Cool.
Sweet. Cool history. Now I want a cigar. What have you done in-game?
In-game, I have not done much. I think I got on and messed around with my outfitting a little bit and maybe changed around some paint jobs, but I haven't really done much in-game. I have to get back into it and fight some more Thargoids. I need to go run some more passenger missions. Or the rescue. Yeah, the evac stuff.
They're passengers.
Yeah.
They're meat.
They're passengers. They're like
Bait.
very
Bait.
get us out of here, passengers. Non-paying passengers.
I don't know. We get paid very well for doing that. We get paid in engineering mats, in my opinion.
Also, I played some Stellaris, and I bought a couple of games on the Steam sale, the Steam Winter sale. Nice. I bought Victoria 3 and Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So I'm looking forward to playing some of those.
Cool.
Sweet.
Me, I've been the same family, stuff that everybody kind of does over the holidays. I worked my butt off. I had a crazy, awesome end of the month, so I made some good moolah again. As far as gaming, it's, twofold. First, with Elite Dangerous, my favorite thing is killing bugs, and that seems to be bugged out so bad, randomly that, I decided to start plant gunning. I've determined that it's even more frustrating when the game acts stupid when you're doing something you don't even enjoy. So it's this game at times. I've turned in, 800 million or so in plant data. I'm trying to get up to Elite 2 in exobiology. I'm Elite 1. Well, no, I'm Elite 0. So I got to get to Elite 1, then I get to Elite 2. Well, I've turned in like 800 million in data, and because the game's borked, it doesn't show you your progress. So I don't even know if I'm close to Elite 1 or, halfway, or I'm still at 0% into Elite 0, turning in that much data. It's just like, gotta let me track my progress, damn it. It's just annoying. And then the, SRV thing that happens every so often. And then, I had a really weird one happen yesterday. I was orbiting, I was on the surface of my ship, and I went downstairs and watched an episode of Endor with the family, and came back upstairs and then went to take off, and my right, when I would move my stick, when I do like vertical thrusters, only the radar screen would move up, and it would move up out of my ship into the air above it. And when I'd go down and do the same thing, and if I pitched or yawed, it was just the radar screen in front of me moving around. I was like flying it. I should have taken the time and turned on OBS and recorded it, because it was just so freaking wonky. And the escape button wouldn't work, so I had to actually task kill in order to get out of the game. But it was
that's
just
about
so
right.
bizarre.
Yeah.
It was
That's about right.
That's insane. I would love to have seen that.
Whenever those crazy things happen, it always ends up being like a task kill situation, right?
Yeah. I couldn't just exit to the menu, couldn't do anything. I had to task kill. Then when I came back in, everything was perfectly fine, but just so weird. But I think that's how this game tends to be. If you don't do anything for a little while, like if, when people do the farming has-res boats or whatever that they do and stuff, and how your memory starts eating up too much and slows the game down. I think if the game just sits idle without you giving any inputs, it does weird stuff. because that's what it was. I had it sitting here for an hour on the planet while I was downstairs, and when I came back, just wanted to take off, and I couldn't. I mean, I should have seen if I could have got my radar dish into Super Cruise and stuff, but I was just like, this is just so fucking stupid. I can't take it. So that's that, and then. So then, I have my Steam Deck, and main reason I kind of bought it is because I had so much fun playing Elden Ring a bit, but if I'm sitting at my desk, I fly on my computer. So I bought a Steam Deck, but basically, playing the Steam Deck, you're using basically a controller, a console controller is essentially what you're using. And I had played like my first 15 hours in Elden Ring on keyboard and mouse. So about 15 hours, you start to get to some really tough stuff, but I have no idea how to fucking control this thing with a controller, and I'm on like a hard part of the game, and it's just impossible, so I just started over. I said, fuck it. I hadn't played it in like 3 months. I didn't really know what was going on, but I couldn't kill a goddamn thing that I was surrounded in at where I was, so I'm like, I'm just going to start over. So I'm having a blast playing Elden Ring again. That game's so freaking cool.
I cannot wait to play that game.
Yeah, it's neat. It's different from anything I've ever really played. It's just really it's different. It's fun. It's cool. So I highly recommend.
My little brother-in-law, he's like, you could try it on my computer if you want. I was like, I already know I'm gonna like it. He said it's like Dark Souls. I said, that's how I know. Like,
yeah. It's like Dark Souls, only just massive. I mean, there's just so much. But yeah, so
even better.
That's me. So. I don't know. We want to do a squadron update?
We could do.
All right. You're in charge of sounds and stuff because you're
in
the
charge
sound
of
person.
sounds.
Yeah, you're here.
I'm the one. Sad trombone.
It seemed necessary to add to the soundboard.
All right, that wasn't right. Here's the real one.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
All right, so there are no current elections, no current wars, only one overheating system, that's Maikoro, and somebody is on that tonight. So we should be as stable as we have been in weeks by the time people are actually listening to this in their podcast app.
All fixed up?
So there's really not much of anything going on the faction side. On the Thargoid side, so in the Oya Defense group this week, Oya gave us 5 total alert systems, 3 of which were populated. And for the people who don't know, there's almost nothing you can do in an unpopulated alert because the only option is to kill Thargoids, and there are almost none of them.
Yeah, let me tell you about that.
Yeah. So we decided in the Oya group to try to fight back on the alerts this go round. So we started out in Huile, Huile. Pronounce that however you want. As of like 15 minutes ago, that system was completed. And it took, today is day 4 of the cycle. It took 4 days to push back on one alert because just like Trax was talking about earlier, there are so few options for how to actually push back. It's evacs and it's bringing in supplies. If you're trying to do combat, there's just almost no options, even if you try to go out of the system to complete missions and come back in.
It's still very time intensive.
It is.
For the reward tiers that you get.
Yeah, those missions are not worth it. And so what we ended up seeing happening was the different groups that are fighting as part of the Oya Defense group fragmented, and all the people who wanted to go do combat were spread all over Hell's half acre in a bunch of different systems. And at one point, we actually had an invasion system that was further along than the alert system was. So, yeah, well, because the vast majority of the population wants to do combat. By far the most rewarding way to do combat, even when they don't work, is AXCZs. And you don't get AXCZs in alert systems. So, people went to where the action was. So we've kind of adjusted to that. The current target is Gliese, Gliese 9035, which is at like 84%. And then when we finish that, we're going to move to HIP 7338, which is currently at like 26%, I think, 26%. So we've got a real chance to finish both of them. Both of those systems have more than 1 week left on the timer. But something else we learned over the past couple of weeks, and this is why HIP 7338 is important. Next week will be its last week on its timer. So if we don't finish it this week, next week there will be no ports left. They'll all be destroyed, and all the AXCZs will go away. And we learned last cycle.
Why do the AXCZs go away?
I don't know, but when all the ports are gone, the AXCZs go too. Which means when you get one of these invasions that's in its last week and there's no ports left, you have all of the problems of having no active ports, plus you have no AXCZs, which makes them very hard to pull back from the brink when they're on their last week.
Okay.
So I really hope they adjust some of these mechanics going forward. But
yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I know it's supposed to be hard, but they've really disincentivized some activities. Like, there's no combat in alert systems. There's no combat in the last week of an invasion. So.
Yeah, I mean, if an alert system happens to be spawning Orthrus signals, and I've found those where I can repeatedly, one after another, find them. Then
that's fine.
It's great, and that's probably a fantastic way to deal with an alert system. But it's like so many signal sources. There's like bizarre background simulation reasons why sometimes some systems spawn more high grade emissions than others, and it's like the systems we were working on this time just wasn't happening. So it's over. But man, I don't know it. I don't know if we should be talking about this right now. The thing that I was coming to realize, because I believe you, and I was paying attention to all the stuff you were thinking of. Like, on the one hand, I get that the weekly reset is clearly meant to simulate Thargoid reinforcements, right? And that is conceptually, that's a cooler way for it to be than just its X amount of hardness, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You have to, reinforcements are better than it just takes us a while. But the fact that it always happens on the week and it deletes all the progress. So for the last 3 or 4 weeks, like my main gaming night, or the night that I was streaming, was a Wednesday. And every single time for the last 3 weeks, we have completed any targets that could be completed. And by then, there was no point in putting any effort into any new ones because they're about to be reset in a matter of just a few hours. So it just means, well, why play on that day?
Yeah.
You will get absolutely nowhere.
Again, they have, at least the reset, I can understand what they were thinking. I disagree with it, but I understand what they were thinking. There are other things that they've just plain disincentivized a whole section of gameplay that I really cannot give you a reason why.
It has to be a mistake.
Either that or somebody just wasn't thinking about the consequences. Like no AXCZs in the last week of an invasion. What were you thinking when you made that decision?
That seems like a mistake.
Yeah. That's either a mistake or guys, we just screwed up. We have to change this. But I don't know. But some other things that have become apparent over at least the past couple of weeks of fighting the Thargoids. So we're still trying to work out what the mechanism is for how new alerts spawn. And there's some guys in the BGS community that are really working on this tooth and nail. I'm kind of on the outside of that, but we've got it pretty much narrowed down to any system within 10 to 15 light years of a current controlled system is eligible to become an alert and start the process. We don't know if there's a limit on how many each Maelstrom can spawn, if there's a limit across all of the Thargoid invasion or what, because the alerts that came out this week were kind of lower than people were expecting. So there's still some research going on there. We just talked about the problems with the last week of invasions. Something else that we have discovered is that if you successfully repel... Well, first off, last week we talked about recovery is on a 4-week timer. And there's really nothing you can do to speed that up. Well, we discovered last week that if you successfully repel an invasion in the first week, it's only a 1-week recovery timer.
Okay.
So you are actually disincentivized to repel an invasion early because you want the 4-week recovery timer, because that means that system is immune to Thargoid invasion for at least those 4 weeks.
Oh, shoot.
So you actually want to let it sit a week and then defeat the invasion. So, yeah. But the further this goes, the more we learn about it. And, we're going to start, we're in cycle 5 now. Cycle 6 will start Thursday morning. And, we've got Tyrannus contained. We're about 2 weeks out from having Oya contained. A lot of the AXI guys are working in the Indra Maelstrom, and I think they're about 2 weeks out from having it contained. That's 3 out of 8 of the Thargoid Maelstroms that we'll have completely contained to just the systems they control within a couple of weeks.
Are you hopeful that, now that we're past the holiday, because we know, Europe, I think they all put themselves in a pod and hibernate for a few weeks over the holidays, that now that the holidays are done, they've got a lot of data to look at, that they're going to turn the right knobs and pull the right levers?
I want to be that hopeful, but past track records with FDev and making adjustments leaves me skeptical.
For one thing, adjustments have already been made, and it was while the mission boards were faulty and AXCZs don't function right. So adjustments to difficulty, this is not the time. We do not have a correct data on what our force could be if everything was working right.
Correct.
But that's when they did it.
I'm going to give them a pass on the mission board issue and the AXCZs not being fixed, because they deserve to have a Christmas break too.
Yeah.
But guys, you're on the timer.
I didn't get a Christmas break. You
shouldn't have adjusted the difficulty.
Jesus. I can't tell that they changed anything with this last adjustment.
Has there been one more recently than?
Yes.
I only knew about the one.
There was the first one where they said, now that all the Maelstroms are here, they're more spread out.
Yeah.
There
was one that they explicitly said we were adjusting the difficulty.
Right.
That's the one I was talking about.
I want to talk about something just real quick, because we touched on the mission board bug again and everything else, and that was affecting. Obviously, we can't get good data sets if people can't even run missions to do stuff, and we can't complete AXCZs, so that can't be used to help us win wars or anything. So we really don't know. Any data we have is we don't know how damaged our efforts are by the bugs that, and not the Thargoid bugs, the bugs that are happening. And somebody posted, I don't know if it was Rabbi first or Boobtron, posting this whole thing with messing with your firewall and proxies and all kind of, there was so much there.
That's Rabbi. That's where that guy lives.
Okay, that's his thing.
And that's great. I really appreciate him posting that. But when I first saw that posted, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm not going to take the time to read that, let alone go and do it just so that I can run missions. I don't even enjoy missions enough to care. I just want my game to work. And the fact that when it's getting to that level of network knowledge you have to have in order to literally just run some missions, that it just leaves me disheartened.
I absolutely agree. It's like, what are we even doing here if I have to jump through this many hoops just for something to work right?
Well, one of the saddest things I can possibly say is that this week we had a suggestion from a member of the community to do a discussion segment in the show about how to work around known bugs.
Yeah.
The fact that that's even out there is really, really sad.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I don't have the energy to argue that anymore. I mean, I just, when I get at this level of just, it's not even annoyed. I'm just disheartened. I think it's the best, where I want to go do certain things in this game I love, and I just don't have the energy to do it right now because of, like you said, the suggestion that we have a show segment about how to work around the different bugs in the game. If FDev was listening to us and hearing these workarounds, they might be able to figure out how to fix it. But they just don't even hardly care about the issue tracker. It's the issue tracker. So maybe we should start calling these things issues rather than bugs, because they refuse to acknowledge that they're bugs. They call them issues. So
use their own words.
Yeah, use their jargon against them. God damn it.
They have issues, all right.
Well, we have issues, but it's not anything you could fix. And maybe that's why they use the word issues, because issues are just issues, man.
Medication. We all need medication.
Yeah, well, after playing this game, sometimes I feel like I should be committed because I just keep coming back. Sometimes it feels like an abusive relationship, but I love this game, God damn it. Just please, FDev, do something. I don't want to be looking at, I mean, that was like lines of code that you need to change in your freaking router
it's not that bad.
It's not that
bad. So
let me find it.
What Rabbi actually created was a script which you could just copy, a shell script, which would parse your logs for certain bits of information. And then he made it sort of simple if you wanted to. I didn't take the time to do any of that. But then later today, he actually realized that on the menu screen, when you log in, it shows you it can show you this bit of information raw. Just right there on the screen.
Yeah, but
it kind of points it out to you.
Think about this for one moment with everything that you just said. We've got a whole lot of commanders that came over from console, that played console because it was simple. Now they're over on PC, and you're telling them that they can just get a simple script that you can copy that'll parse your logs, then you can do that. Well, all of that went right over most of their heads.
Yeah. No. Okay. So the truth is, we don't know for sure that this actually works to fix the mission board. But what they are stumbling around and maybe finding is that there are multiple mission servers, and some of them seem to consistently not work, at least for a little while. Although Rabbi did say that every now and then he purges his firewall block list and retries old servers that were previously not working and finds that they now work. So nothing's 100%. I took the info that they posted, and they basically came up with 3 servers that seemed to be consistently the problem ones. And it would just quickly made an outbound Windows firewall rule that blocked them. Since I've done that, for what it's worth, I haven't encountered any mission board problems, but I haven't done that many missions since then. I haven't done multiple days of just running missions or anything like that, so I don't know if that means anything. And I don't know if this is really the problem, because it's an intermittent issue, which is the worst kind, right? But anyway, I don't think anybody has to worry about running that shell script. Nobody has to worry about firewall blocking. If you're really fed up with it and you want to try it, it takes 30 seconds to just type firewall into your Windows key and enter a new custom rule. And you can copy these IP addresses. You don't have to parse your logs or anything like that. You could just copy these 3 and see if it helps. Or just look at that menu screen when you log in. If you're having problems, look at that screen and bam, there it is. There's the one that you're connected to. You block that one and it forces the game to choose a different one. That's all it is. But I can't confirm that it actually does anything.
Well, I mean, I still intermittently remember my key bindings thing, where when I log on and my key bindings are still there, it's just not acknowledging them until I go into the menu. I don't need to go in the menu and save again. I just need to enter the ship controls menu and then escape back to the screen. And it was really bad before. What update was this? 14? No, I don't remember. I lose track of the numbers.
14.1
is the most current.
patch.
Yeah. Well, before it was at least every other time it would do that, where I had to go in, where it got to the point where I would just automatically go into it, into the ship controls and just be done with it. So I didn't all of a sudden go, God damn it, and then go do it. I would just do it when I logged on. Well, I wasn't doing that since 14 and it was fine. But now it's like once every 5 times that happens. It's just, it just randomly all of a sudden.
What the fuck?
I don't have controls on my left stick. Go into ship controls, just ship controls, and then exit back out, and it works fine. What is that?
What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's so freaking weird. And like you said, intermittent is the worst kind of problem because you can't test it and try to figure out, I mean, is it because I've got Netflix open that now my controls don't work? I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
It seems so weird.
It boggles my mind. And it came up so I think that started happening, well, it's when I got the new Virpil stick. It was shortly thereafter. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it was shortly after update 13 that started happening, and I just don't know. Because I mean, back in the day, you'd lose your freaking binds entirely, but we finally found the workaround for that. So you don't, as long as you rename the file and stuff, you're always fine. You don't have to back up your binds anymore. That's a thing of the past. But now it's just this weird intermittent thing, and like the mission boards being as intermittent as they are. And it always seems when you think you find a good workaround in this game, the game finds a way to say, haha, I found a way to still screw it up. I don't know.
I worked around your workaround.
Exactly. I know what you're trying to do, and I know that you know that I know what you're trying to do. And it's I don't know. I don't want to be down. I try to keep the salt to a minimum. I don't want to get, turn into like, I don't know, our good buddy DJ Huile. Sometimes his salt has gotten pretty deep, and he's seemed to come around a little bit, but I just don't want to be that guy. I just have to smile, take a deep breath, and say, hey, I still get to fly my spaceship.
I get tired of being negative sometimes. Like I get so tired of it.
Yeah.
And it's like I want to be positive, but like sometimes like it's just nothing I can do, man. It's
yeah. So apologies, everybody. We're not starting off the year on a sour note. Just I'm gonna go play some Elden Ring, I think.
I think well, apparently there's some more as Nurgle was saying, there's some more complicated things that are not as simple to just say, well, if they just do this, it would be fixed, right? Like, as far as, some certain things are just totally de-incentivized and stuff like that. And systems that seem to work sort of backwards, right? From the way their design seems like it was intended. But for what it's worth, like I get that the reset was intended to simulate reinforcements. There's alternative ways to do that don't just delete 1 or 2 days from the week of usable time, right? That don't just make it so there's absolutely no reason for us to play on Wednesday and sometimes Tuesday, because that's too late to start a new system and the other things might be finished already. So, having it be a partial reset of progress, there you go. Suddenly there is no day of the week where you can't make any progress. Seems like an easy change to make. It's just a suggestion. We're just going to keep doing this. You can have that one for free.
Just a suggestion.
Nurgle, what you were mentioning other system targets. Are those in Discord at all? Because I went and looked.
Yes.
Where are they? I looked in standing orders and I only saw the Huile or whatever.
They're not in standing orders. They're in, hang on, and I will open up Discord and tell you exactly the channel. They are in the Loose Screws faction channel.
Oh, I see.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Primary, secondary.
You just did that right
tertiary.
now.
I did that.
That was 10 minutes ago.
This was
5 minutes ago.
1 minute ago on my clock.
Hoyle literally completed while we were doing the show, and I was updating these and posting them.
Okay.
So that's an edit. Okay.
I see. So yeah, we should All right. I get you. Yeah. So one thing that happened actually, because Huile was making good progress, but wasn't going to be completed today. And then just a few hours ago, the evac squad group thing, the God, I always forget the acronym. I'm sorry, guys.
PDES.
PDES. Just a little while before starting the show was like, all right, we completed these targets. Next target is Huile. And I was like, oh great, they're coming to our town. And sure enough, it's locked up within a couple of hours.
What does PDES stand for again?
Post-disaster evacuation service.
Okay.
That's the one.
We need better
Huile was
acronyms.
at like 84% this afternoon.
Yeah. But it wasn't making 20s, tens of percent per hour.
No, it was making...
And then they mark it as their target, and suddenly it's more than just our local group of commanders that are jumping in on it. So
it was making like 2% per hour, and then PDES committed, and they finished it in the last 16% in about 4 hours. Yeah.
All right. Well, got no reason to stay in Huile, so I'm going to start running my missions there. Anyway,
they could have even just went post-disaster as a hyphenated, and then it went PES, then it would have been PES. That would have worked for me. PDS, I'm sorry. I don't like acronyms that are suck.
That acronym are suck.
That are suck.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Not at all.
We need an acronym council to approve these acronyms before they go out in the public.
We love you guys at what you do. Yeah, we love you guys at what you do, but you need a better acronym.
What is DCOH or whatever they go?
Defense Council of Humanity. Yes.
And they needed to go Defense of Humanity Council.
Yes.
Then it could have been DOE Council.
Yeah, I know.
Perfect.
It's an opportunity missed.
Man,
it's almost like they didn't want to be cool.
Well, fucking nerds. God damn it. All right. What else we got?
Well, we got segments and stuff, right? Are we?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that segment idea, by the way, the how to avoid bugs segment, which I promptly decided was going to be called, well, there's your problem.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
Well, we've already done.
We've already done it this time.
We've done the inaugural one, yeah.
Right. I was thinking. It made me think of just an episode or two ago when it was like, "Are you?" It's like something's going wrong. Oh, did you make the mistake of turning on Elite Dangerous? Well, there's your problem.
Yeah, there's your problem.
Maybe that was on my stream. Maybe that was not on the podcast. I can't remember. But the point is, somebody experienced a bug, and the response was resounding. Well, did you turn on Elite?
There's your problem.
Yeah.
There's the one workaround that solves all Elite bugs.
Yeah.
All right, I don't need to repeat that.
Elite
again.
developers hate this one workaround.
This one trick. This one stupid trick. Oh my god.
I just want to show you this game. But I just shared my screen just for a second. More report. See how I'm sitting on the pad? And you got the blinking lights in front. And notice on the left compared to on the right. That right there annoys me. The pillar.
Pillar.
That on the left, it's got blinking lights all the way down. On the right, it doesn't. Why? Why isn't it symmetrical? I don't know why. That just has been bothering me because I've been sitting here looking at that for a little while, and I'm like, why? Why are those lights burnt out? Why is President Boyce not getting shit like this fixed?
Man, I thought you meant real bugs.
That can't be intentional.
Not like stuff like I swear they said they had bathrooms on these stations, and I haven't found one anywhere.
No, on the ground installations there are.
They're all on the ground installations. You got to go to the ground to go to a toilet.
Yeah, so if
you gotta hit the toilet. You gotta complain inside, buddy.
Yep, exactly.
We don't want any pooping in 0G. You got to go to the surface for that.
Well, yeah. Honestly, think about it. If you just never mind, inertia, I don't know, Newton's third law, things like that.
Well, for one, they're not in 0G, and two, nobody poops in 0G, and despite being 1,300 years in the future, that's never happened before.
Well, I mean, somebody does.
I want you to cite a source.
It's not like real modern day astronauts poop.
Better source
don't
that.
Poop in 0G. We all know that doesn't happen.
No.
No, they don't. They get it vacuumed out of them.
Go on.
No, that's the whole thing. It's a tube. It sucks it out of you,
Yeah.
and then you clean it off afterwards.
Yeah, you had his attention at suck.
You know, if that thing malfunctions, or I don't know. There's a whole lot of things I don't like about that. There's some things I don't need to know. I prefer like a
Sounds
still
good.
suit from Dune.
There you
As
go.
I said on the McElroy Brothers podcast, if you nut in space, it pushes you backwards.
Technically, a little bit, yeah. Inertia's inertia. You can't get away from that.
Truth. Wow.
Yeah.
First it's Velveeta fudge, then it's nutting in space. I don't know, man.
This sounds like not to take over or anything, but this sounds like a great time to play the Bard segment, right?
Yes.
Holy fuck, yeah, that was right on cue.
Right?
Yep.
Right? All right. Let's get into it. Now I got to find it. Here we go.
On the board, the King Helium Express!
Welcome aboard the Tinhadium Express. Here's hoping this year's a good one for humanity. Of course, preparation is to the letter H as practice is to the letter W. So if we're gonna win, we gotta get greasy. That sounded way better in my head. Pretty sure all the fumes were expunged from last week, but whatever, let's get on with it. December 26th, winner's calls for the Federation to protect independent systems. December 27th, Alba Tessero is once again asking to reinstate Aegis. December 29th, enhanced axe weapon development project is completed. And on December 30th, Galnet retrospective of 3308, part 2. Don't know where part 1 is, but we got part 2. Well, that's all for the news this week. Now go slap some mayonnaise and have some fun out there. Why does this gym not have any music in it?
Wow.
Did I miss
Slap-
a joke in there?
Slap some mayonnaise?
Yeah.
Okay.
He must have
and
nutted in
also,
space.
He just throwing shade at Galnet for completely missing Galnet News Digest part 1. Apparently, like, why did they mention part 2 if they didn't mention part 1? Right? Bizarre.
I don't know where to start. Thanks, Bard. Good stuff.
Always good stuff. Bart always puts out the best stuff.
He puts out
He puts
quality.
out. That's for sure.
That's what I heard.
God.
So, what do we do now? It's
I don't know.
exciting.
Should I say hi to puppies and Chick Chat? We got
Yeah.
Cal Oren with his co-pilot
Wait, play
Milo.
yourself a Chig Chat sound,
Oh,
right?
all right, yes.
Wait, I'll do one for you.
It's a me, it's a Chig.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right, so we had Cal Oren, one of our commanders, gave us a happy Boxing Day. I don't know if that means we go punch people in the face, but I like it. And his co-pilot Milo and him passed out early yesterday. Dubs has now got a new 3D printer, and he's printing giant fertilances.
Which are awesome.
We got another amazing picture of Brick, the official mascot. God, that dog, I freaking love that dog. He, Blooming Wind, put that dog in a box. I don't even think you need air holes. I think Brick will be fine with whatever you do and ship him to me. I'm fine with that. Somebody posted something with a cat in it. We'll just pass that shit up right now. Looks like Borked Bits got himself some stuff to participate in some of his other hobbies. Mad Dog showed his doesn't look like a Mad Dog Nugget, a great co-pilot. Nurgo's working on a great emblem that involves Brick and apparently like an Odin helmet. I like where that's going. Grover Kiwi had another pic of Leo, his little dog. He's wearing some kind of crown on his head. I don't know if that's a New Zealand thing where they torture their animals. Sokar posted Commander Ollie. And this thing with Commander Ollie, I love the dog pics, but I'm really mesmerized by the shelf behind your dog. You've got some ships going on there. It looks like one of the Enterprises. Looks like are they Raptors on Battlestar Galactica in there? I don't know.
Viper.
It's a cool looking picture. Viper. Sorry.
Oh no, the Raptor was like the utility craft.
Okay,
yeah,
so
not
yeah, it's a Viper. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raptor was like the bigger, chunkier one.
Super cool. I don't know. Rotten Pineapple posted something. He says, looks like space cheese. I'll take your word for it. A better version from Blooming Wind of the Nurgle attempt at. I don't know why Brick's become like a Viking now. I like where this is going, but and
He's intrepid.
Because Vikings are awesome and Brick is awesome.
I thought it was because there was lots of raping and pillaging, and that's what looks like Brick would do.
It's because he's got one eye and he's got just as much attitude as Odin. So we had to do Brick Allfather.
In fact, I'm literally working on this right now.
Wow, did I just get jumped on there? My apologies for having your current theme go over my head. Let's go, Brick. Bite one of their balls for me. And
he would do it too.
For some reason, somebody thinks I look like Brian Johnson. I like it. There's a chick sighting by Rabbi Bob that he posted. So, that's the extent of Chick Chat this week. And if you don't like it, well, you know the rest.
And I got to call out Rabbi Bob for putting a picture of Brian Johnson and implying it was Chig instead of just photoshopping Chig into the picture of Brian Johnson, because we know he has the skills to do it.
Was he even around when that series of freaking Photoshop bullshit was happening, when it was the Chig father and I was being put I know,
he
but
may not. Yeah.
He might have missed that week or something, because there was a lot of good photoshopping of my face into random movie posters, which was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was. I love when you guys poke fun at me. It means I'm loved. Or you hate me. I don't care either way.
I fucking hate you.
I don't think you don't look like that guy.
I don't
think it's pretty good.
I don't look like him too. That's a good way of putting that. My arms are bigger though.
I'll say Chig's a pretty beefy boy. Like that dude's got some heft.
Oofda. That's right. Yeah. I think at this point we need to play another sound bite.
Disappointed!
But I wasn't. I was the opposite of that. So, all right.
Then why'd you play that one?
Because it was the first thing I saw that wasn't like a Jig Chat or a Bard thing or there's one.
Thick Thargoid booty.
There, got you back.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. It's a me. It's a Jig.
And that one again.
Outstanding. What do we got?
Aren't you guys glad I have soundboard privileges?
No.
You don't count.
I know.
What's up? What else? What else do we do on this intrepid show? We're all intrepid now.
We already covered the cheese in the intro.
I see that. Yeah.
Yep. Go make some fudge with some Velveeta cheese. That's cheese of the week. There you go.
No, I decline.
I am issuing a challenge. Go make some Velveeta out of some fudge. That's what I want. You prove that that's possible. I will believe you are a magician. So
I might make Velveeta fudge and just send Chig some.
There you go.
I don't know if I'd eat a box of anything you sent to me.
But of course, it's Velveeta, so it'll keep for 5-6 years in shipping.
Yeah. True. I'd eat it. I'll record myself eating it, all of it.
You don't have to eat all of it. I mean,
That's
it's still very fudgy. Like, it's very rich.
What about Nurgle talking about? Isn't it like National Science Fiction Day? Or something?
Yeah. Today is National Science Fiction Day.
Do we know why the second day of the year was chosen to be National Science Fiction Day, or was it just a random thing? Okay.
No idea. It showed up on my calendar that today is National Science Fiction Day. So in honor of National Science Fiction Day, what is your favorite science fiction thing? Book, movie, author, short story, whatever. Chig, go.
Oh, gosh.
Elite Dangerous.
I feel that's kind of the pandering answer.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm going to stick to that answer just because there was no criteria for how to choose this. This game, the fact that it even exists still boggles my mind, that we've got an entire freaking galaxy that we can explore with an entire like BGS system going on, with an entire alien war kind of going on, with mission boards and ground shit and space shit and exploration and plants and back in the day, they used to actually put, clever stuff in this game that people would have to decipher. And, there's still things supposedly that haven't been found. And I still am holding out hope that there's stuff in game right now that we haven't figured out. Like the stupid Green Jolly Rancher thing. When is that going to become something in this game? I don't know. I have faith that there's more going on, considering that we have an entire freaking galaxy. On my little bit of exploring again recently, I was, back in the thing of like, this game is so, looking at the galaxy map, trying to pick a place to fly to, and there's just so many freaking stars. It's unbelievable. And I only flew out like 2,500 from the bubble and back, and I got like 4 first discoveries when I turned in my Cardo data. Yeah, I was like, holy crap, people are still that close to the bubble. I can still get first discoveries in this game. Boggles my mind. So I'm going to go with that. Is it pandering? I don't think so, because I keep calling the developers morons, so I'm not really a panderer. But I dig this game, and I as far as hours invested in anything science fiction, it's got, I've watched the Star Wars movies quite a few times and a lot of Star Wars shows and stuff, but I guarantee you I don't have 6,000 hours watching Star Wars in my life, and I've got 6,000 hours in this game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I go this direction.
Yeah.
All right, I'd give it to him.
Yeah.
Can we do, like, I need like one per media,
Sure.
like I need a separate game, a separate
There's no rules.
TV, movie. I will give you book, TV, movie, and game.
Okay.
And I could do it pretty quickly.
Okay. Go.
All right. The game is Elite Dangerous. Obviously.
Yeah, clearly.
And the TV show is The Expanse. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And there, I liked Battlestar Galactica back in a few, decade or so ago, whatever that was. Right up until part 2 of the last episode. Just skip that one. Anyway, make up your own ending, and it's otherwise a pretty good show. But anyway, The Expanse totally replaces it, and I don't have to like couch it. Anyway, movie is Arrival. Did you guys see that? Do you remember that?
The new one with the math stuff?
What?
Amy Adams and stuff, that one?
Arrival, yeah, Amy Adams.
Yeah, there was another movie, Arrival, with Charlie
Oh,
Sheen back in the 90s, which was actually a really good
I remember that
science
movie. I remember that, Arrival.
It was really good.
It was not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, Arrival, not going to talk about it a whole lot. It's great if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it and you watch it, now you know what my jam is. But anyway, that will be probably / hopefully replaced by the movie version of what I'm about to say for a book, because it is in production. But Project Hail Mary is the book. It is
Really?
It is the next book by Andy Weir, the author of The Martian.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic. The Martian is practice mode for this book. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I have. What was it called again?
Project Hail Mary.
I have not read it yet, but I hear good things about it.
So, I just joined. That's the other thing I did this week. I just joined a book of the month club online, and that's one of the books I could have chosen. So I'll pick that for next month's book.
Definitely.
On your recommendation.
I've gone. It came out fairly recently. I've been through it 4 or 5 times.
Anything by Andy Weir is awesome.
Yeah, and The Martian was good. If you liked it, it is practice mode for this book. It's just there's so many things I could go on and on and on about all the reasons it's such a fantastic book. And it was already optioned before the book even came out. It was optioned for a movie, and Ryan Gosling is going to be playing the lead, and it's in production anyway. So I can't wait. I know it'll be different, and I'm prepared to deal with the things that they did differently than my imagination. I will hold them separately, I promise. But hopefully it will turn out to be my favorite movie too.
Sidetracking a little bit, did you see or did you hear the episode of Skeptic's Guide where they interviewed him about it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I figured you did. I just wanted to make sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Teflon, how about you?
So the couple things that I've chosen is, one is the The book series, it's the Castle Federation book series by Glenn Stewart. I really like military science fiction, and especially space opera stuff. And this does a lot of space navy kind of stuff, which is what I'm really into. And I very much recommend you guys check it out. It starts with the book Space Carrier Avalon, is the first book in the series, and it's very, very good. Certainly better than I was expecting. Because I got them on Audible when I had an Audible subscription, and I'm getting all the books on Audible. Even after I caught up, and he still had 2 books left in him, in the Castle Federation series. I was chomping at the bit for him. The other thing I would recommend is an old book favorite of mine, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Is a classic. It should be treated as such. And if you haven't read it, you owe it to yourself to read it.
Don't watch the movie. Watch the
movie. Read the book. You owe it to yourself. It is incredible.
And the movie, to me, I want to talk the movie. Just 1 second of that. I hated it the first time I saw it because I was such a huge fan of the book. But the movie has become a classic for me now. I can sit and watch that movie anytime. It cracks me up.
I do like oh, now I'm blanking on his name. Dead actor.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
Oh, Rickman.
Alan Rickman
as the robot
is perfect.
We're all gonna die.
Yes. It's not that movie is irredeemable. It definitely has a lot of great things going for it. It's just a poor adaptation of Skeptic's Guide.
Yeah, but
that's a tough book to try.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Almost impossible, I would say. So I think
hard to imagine.
They did what they could. They caught the basic theme of it, and it was quirky and funny. And I don't know what's his name playing Beelzebub or whatever. He was amazing. Sam Rockwell did so well, and Martin Freeman did so well. He was, to me, he fit kind of that just what the fuck is going on kind of character or personality that you needed for that show. Without I don't know, I've appreciated that movie more the more times I see it over the years, and part of that though is the fact I haven't reread Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in at least 25 years. So but I don't know, I like the movie. I think it's underrated these days.
I agree.
I liked it too. I think the character work's really good. It's just a massive story to be putting into a movie. That's all. I think what scenes they did put in the movie were pretty good for the most part. It does make the ending feel a little disconnected and weird, but
rushed, kind of.
Yeah. But it's fine. What was in there is really good.
And so for me, I think I would have to agree. The game is Elite Dangerous. I mean, there's no other option there. In terms of a series or something like that, it's got to be The Expanse. For books and authors, I am such a huge fan for anything Larry Niven that it overshadows everything else. I mean, if you like hard science fiction, he is actually a physicist. And has been writing since the 60s. A
physicist, you say?
A physicist, yes. And just has some incredible stuff. Like I said, I'm a huge geek for Larry Niven. I literally have everything he has ever written, and highly recommend him as an author to anybody who likes hard science fiction. This is the man who once pulled a story from publication because new science had come out since he had written it, and he wanted to change it to make sure it was accurate.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Do you have the original version?
No, it was never published, so no, I don't.
Oh, you said it was pulled from publication. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We'll say another sci-fi book people should check out is We Are Bob.
We Are Bob?
Yes.
Was it written by a physicist?
It's We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. It's got a little bit of that hard science and artistic license and a little delightful humor. Basically, a person whose name is Bob he his brain, his intelligence is preserved inside of a machine that is eventually transformed eventually transferred into these other intelligences across like the galaxy, and so then his consciousness wakes up, and all of a sudden his existence is no longer him as a person. It's spread out across all this galaxy. It's very good. You should check it out.
Interesting, yeah.
Huh.
I have like a weird memory. Like I feel like I might have heard of that, but it's like almost intangible. Anyway, yeah, cool.
And one other thing I want to add before we go to the end of the show, no movie anniversaries this week, but 40 years ago today, Time magazine put a personal computer on the cover and did Machine of the Year instead of Man of the Year.
Nice. But you're skipping me. I didn't get to do a movie or a TV show or anything.
I didn't do a movie or TV show either, so I gotta go back and do those.
All right, Chig, come on, catch up.
Oh my God, catch up. Okay, this will be easy. It can be a series of books, right? So I'll go the Twilight series for the best books, and for best movie, I'm going to go Treasure Planet. All right, I'm done.
He's like, I'm gonna go.
You are completely full of shit.
For best movie, I'm gonna go Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity.
You are even fuller of shit.
Fuller of shit.
And see, I don't even think Twilight that would even be science fiction. That's like just hot
fiction.
Trash. Yeah,
for my
straight fiction.
For my favorite science fiction, at least we'll call it science fiction instead of space fantasy, which is what I normally call it because it's a Star Wars show. This is literally the first one that comes to mind. I might think of a better one later, but Andor was so good.
It's pronounced Endor.
So much. And everybody should watch Andor on Disney Plus.
Endor.
And for movie, that's a really hard one. I don't know. Maybe Dark Side of the Moon from 1982. No, I'm kidding.
Don't make me go Space 1999 on you.
Probably. I guess I'll go with Starship Troopers because it's a good, fun action sci-fi movie. Nothing that you have to really think too hard about. Well,
in fact,
all right. There's any number.
I'm going to go
sci-fi movies I could
thinking is actively discouraged. Yes,
I'm going to come away. I'm going to say Treasure Planet. That's not true because I still haven't seen it. So I'll go something I've actually seen. I'm going to stick with animated though. I'm going to go with the original Transformers movie from the 80s with Leonard Nimoy doing one of the voices and Orson Welles, and that is actually a damn good movie.
That is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yep. I'm going with that.
For the record, I laughed before he said the original animated one.
Yeah, you thought I was talking.
I was like,
Megan Fox.
He was talking about the
here's the thing: Michael Bay knows who he is.
Yeah.
Right. Like he doesn't care what you think of him. He's not doing that because you care. He's doing it because he wants to do it, and that's fine. I can respect Michael Bay in that way.
I'll defend the first Transformers movie. Just on everyone after the first was just robots beating the shit out of each other. The first one had that kind of
didn't make any sense.
The first one had kind of first contact spin on it too, and a lot of interesting
There's
stuff.
Origin stuff they could spend time
actually
on.
Cool. Our first meeting with an alien race and it's freaking robots, which is cool science fiction. What the fuck? So the first one was okay, and Megan Fox was so smoking hot in that movie.
It'd be easy to pick a classic movie like 2001: A Space Odyssey or
Have I ever told you about 2001: The Space Odyssey?
Forbidden Planet.
I would pick. I think I'm going to change my answer to Titan AE because I really enjoyed that animated.
I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked that one.
And I feel like it didn't get the love it deserved.
Let me tell you, 2001: A Space Odyssey, I hadn't seen it in like a lot of years, and I was at work one day, and it was I don't know, it was like the day after a holiday or something. So I knew it was going to be really slow. This was back when I was working rental car and I was covering the desk at my airport office, which was slow and boring. And I decided to catch up on some Kubrick movies, and I hadn't seen 2001 in a lot of years. So I'm watching this fucking movie on my phone. And if there's spoilers or anything, people get over it. The movie came out like 30 some years ago, or in the 70s. So yeah, 30s, whatever.
Yeah.
So
a lot.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it on my phone, and I'm sitting there and watching it. And then I take a phone call. I set my phone down. I pick my phone back up, and I start watching the movie. And it's at the end, when he ends up like in that spaceship thing, and just it gets weirder than fuck, right? And on my phone, it was upside down. And I'm like, this is an interesting choice by Kubrick. Why did he shoot this whole thing upside down? He might have, because it was a Kubrick film. And I'm like, this is actually kind of insane. And then I picked up my phone and it flipped right side up, and I was so bummed. I was like, oh, man.
That's like in the 90s, I saw a thing on TV about how they made Star Trek The Next Generation, and they used to film. The model was too top heavy for the ship to have it sitting up, so it hung upside down, and they just turned the camera upside down for the ship shots.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Everything's a lie. But I don't know. Being a Kubrick film, it made sense as I was watching it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So,
do you want your January 2nd on this day in history?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Go.
Okay. January 2nd, 1905. This day in history. In 1905, Japanese capture Russian naval base. On January 2nd, 1905, in a crucial turning point of the Russo-Japanese War, Japan captured Port Arthur, a major Russian naval base on I'm not going to pronounce this right, Liaodong Peninsula in China, when Russia, under Tsar Nicholas II, declined to withdraw its troops from Manchuria after joining with international forces to suppress China's Boxer Rebellion in 1900. Japan became wary of Russia's territorial ambitions in the Far East. On February 8, 1904, the Japanese launched a surprise attack on Port Arthur, beginning the Russo-Japanese War. The port had been a useful location as far back as the 2nd century. The Russians had taken control in 1898 as a result of Russia's defeat at Port Arthur in January 1905, and the bitter and violent rebellion he faced within his own country. Tsar Nicholas accepted U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt's offer to broker peace between Russia and Japan. So under the terms of the Treaty of Portsmouth, control of Port Arthur and the surrounding region was transferred to the Japanese, who renamed the city Ryoju. So yes, on this day in 1905, Japan captured a Russian naval base.
Which led directly to the Battle of Tsushima Straits, where the Japanese defeated the Russians in the first major naval engagement of the 20th century. And if you really want to know more, there's a naval historian on YouTube named Drachnefel who did a two-parter on this. The first part is the Second Russian Naval Squadron, Voyage of the Damned. Have a drink, listen to it. It is hysterical. You will wonder how they even managed to get their boats to that fight.
Oh my God, yes. It is incredibly ridiculous. And part of the whole Russo-Japanese War was just to try to get the populace more on the side of Tsar Nicholas, because, the best thing for morale and bring everybody together is, a foreign enemy. Well, they turned on him very quickly after the start of the war, once again. And so he was once again back to an unsettled populace, which eventually they would have a revolution. Have two of them, actually.
Like you do.
Yep. So there you go. There's your history for today.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
I think a lot of stuff.
I think that's a lot.
Is that a show? Did we do a whole show?
That's a show. You know what? I got one more thing for you.
Holy crap. You never do this at the end.
That's this. No, it wasn't even me this time. There's this picture of Brick.
That is the one.
That Teflon posted? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is, here, hold on. Let me pull this tab out. Here, you're going on the video version. Check the video version, everybody.
I'm putting it in Chig Chat.
It's going to be in Chig Chat too, but this, if you're watching right now on video of the podcast, you're seeing it.
That is awesome.
That's
all hail Brick.
Yeah, no more edits necessary. That is the one.
You've done it. What's on his eye patch?
I don't know, whatever the AI generated whenever I generated a few images of Brick during the show, and I thought I need an eye patch because this current one didn't have one. And,
see, we need the loose screw on that.
Yeah, we'll put the loose screw on the eye patch. Yeah,
There you go.
I cut out whatever emblem was on the helmet of one of the other images before, and then I put it on there, and then I changed the contrast stuff to kind of make it match the picture a little better.
That's perfect. I'll put the.
It looks great.
I'll edit the loose screws emblem into the eye patch, and we'll be good.
Working on something.
Sure,
like this
do whatever you want to it. I don't care. I just happy I could be of some help.
I was perfect. Nailed it.
Fantastic.
All hail the All Father.
Brick the All Father. So so shall we get out of here?
I
Where
think
are we
so.
going?
I think so.
I don't know.
Waffle House. See some fights.
Applebee's.
Amen. No, Waffle House.
No,
Waffle House. I want to go and see Waffle House Wendy deflect a chair like a freaking Jedi.
Yeah, let's go out on that. All right. Do you want to run down the ending here, Chig, or do you want me to? Oh God, interdicted by another goddamn Thargoid.
It's all you.
Oh great, it's me. All right. I'm gonna escape a Thargoid.
Let Teflon do it with his voice changer.
Oh, I don't have my voice changers. I have
Not turned on right now.
I can turn it on. Just
all right.
give me some time.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Oh wait, no, it's on.
Hey,
Hold on.
Okay. All right. He's going. If you like that show, please.
See, you don't even need me to do it.
Give us a rating.
We've got.
It'll be great if you rate us, please. I am the robot that made the picture of Brick.
I made Brick out of Velveeta.
All right. Find us on Discord, discord.io/loose screws, and go to check out our merch store where there's lots of fun stuff. And you can find that at loosescrewsed.com, along with some other things that have to do with the show. And we have a Patreon, which supporters of the show can use to do what I just said, support the show. Patreon.com/loosescrewsed. Financial support goes to pay for recording stuff and plenty of overflow, which goes to right back into the community in the form of gifts and fun things that we do when such things become
support
deserved.
us on Patreon. Patreon.com/loosescrewsed.
That's
all
it.
your base are belong to us.
Thanks for listening. And
Join us on Discord. Buy stuff at the merch store, loosescrewsed.com. Thank you for listening.
That's it.
I'm sorry, Chig. I can't do that.
I really feel like when you say you're going to bring the robot voice, you go in another room, dig around in a drawer looking for it, because you disappear for a full minute before all of a sudden you just start doing it. I love it. It's amazing.
Well, the last couple times I haven't used the voice changer, so now I came back.
Okay, gotcha. Wow.
All right. Well, apparently this episode contained Chig, J-Antrax, Nurgle, and Teflon. Good luck, everybody.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Congratulations!
No, thanks. We'll see you next week. How did I become the ending host?
It's a me. It's a Chig. I think that we don't have an actual host. We just do what we're doing. Holy
Who
crap,
the fuck
there's a lot of
starts a
ways.
conversation like that? I just sat down.
It's the ending of sounds. All right. See you next week.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
Never
Bye,
ends.
everybody.
Make it stop.